Hoja was inside, but he didn't answer. The neighbor knew he was inside, so he just kept knocking on the door. And then all of a sudden, he stopped knocking. Hoja said, "What do you want?" From behind the door. And the neighbor said, "I want to see the Hoja." He said, "He's not here." He said, "Well, who are you?" He said, "That's none of your business." He said, "Well, I know he's here." He said, "How do you know?" He said, "Because his donkey is here." He said, "Oh, you're more interested in his donkey than him?" So, in this way, a conversation went on, but he refused to open the door. So, the same way, we can engage in devotional service. We want to derive some benefit from it, but we don't want to acknowledge it. Therefore, it says, "Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhakta samgavaj nirvairat sarvabhutesu yasamam iti vandula." Which means, that's the 18th chapter, 55th verse of Bhagavad Gita, "My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me." This is, again, a definition of pure devotional service. Point one, he's free from the contamination of fruitive activities. Fruitive activities means activities, even though one engages in some kind of pious activity or even some devotional service, they're expecting something back. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya said, "Na dana, na jana, na sundarim," and janmani janmani smriti. So I don't want any material benefit at all. No profit, no followers or admirers, and I don't want to enjoy beautiful people, exploit them for sense gratification, and I don't want liberation. I simply want the service without any expectation in return. So that's what it says, free from the contamination of fruitive activities. And mental speculation. Mental speculation is like this. There was once a Brahmin, and he read that cow dung is pure. So he used his reason and logic. He said, "Cow is a stupid animal. I'm a highly educated Brahmin. So if the cow dung is pure, how much purer must my dung be?" That was logic and reason. Well, that's called false logic, false reason, and that's called speculation. When one tries to supersede the Vedic injunction or Vedic instruction with some false logic. Now, if you analyze cow dung and you analyze human stool, you'll see human stool is infected, cow dung is pure. But he tried to supersede the Vedic knowledge by using logic and reason. So, and using his speculation. Therefore, speculation is not allowed. Why? Because one can, using speculation, one can destroy Vedic knowledge in the minds of innocent people and distract them from actually engaging in pure devotional service. This is the problem with false priests. A real priest will explain that Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sadapasyanti Sura Nivivaja Suratatam Tat Prasno Vipandiko. Rig Veda says that the supreme goal of all spiritual activity is Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam, is serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. That's the aim. And how do we serve? well, anyabilasita sunyam gyanakarma dhyanavartam. Without any material desires, no expectation of any return, and in a favorable way, rendering service according to the way Krishna wants the service to be performed and offered. Just like if you ask me, please, Prabhu, get me a glass of water, and I bring you a glass of Coca-Cola. Is that favorable service? No. Therefore, there's what's called parampara. Evam parampara praptam imam raja sayuritu sakalena mahata yoganasta parampara. Krishna established this parampara. He spoke originally to Brahma, and Brahma to Narada, and Narada to Vyasa, and Vyasa to Madhvacharya, and Madhvacharya came through Madhavendra Puri to Lord Chaitanya, Ishvara Puri to Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya to six Goswamis, right down to modern times, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and now through Srila Prabhupada's disciples and grand disciples, this cyclic succession called the Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is continuing. So, we must get our information from the bona fide Acharya and Acharyas. And that is, for us, that is Srila Prabhupada, Guru Mukha Padma Vaikya, Chitete Kariya Aikya. I only want my consciousness to be purified by the words emanating from the lotus mat of my spiritual master. So that is how we understand how to render favorable service to Krishna. In every question, there's always a right way and a wrong way. All ways are not right. There's a right way and a wrong way. So, here it says, anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet and spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the supreme personality of Krishna must take this formula, as stated by the Supreme Himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, 55th verse. The essence of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directly to the conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over nature and who do not know the real spiritual life. The symptom that we are all exhibiting is we want to be number one. We're here because we all revolted against Krishna originally. We're not here because we're all goody-goody. We defy Krishna's authority. Therefore, we're placed in the material world where we can act as if we're Krishna. But to correct our misbehavior, there are laws of karma. And the laws of karma are there to teach us that we're doing the wrong thing. So this birth, and then old age, and disease, and death, and miseries of this body, miseries caused by other bodies, miseries caused by natural cataclysmic effects. This eating, sleeping, mating, defending, feelings of anxiety, pain, illusion, envy, anger, and lust, and greed, and madness. All these things are symptoms of doing something wrong. Just like if your child does something wrong, what would you do? Would you not correct them? Let's say they're playing with matches in the house, trying to set fire to the clothes in your closet. Would you say, oh, keep going on like that, that's wonderful. You'll burn the house down, you'll be so happy living in a tent. Would you do that? Would you do that? You saw your child, what would you do? Huh? Okay, but that's all, nothing else? What would you do the second time you catch them doing the same thing? cause some remedial pain, right? Teach him a lesson so he doesn't do it again. So he understands how dangerous it is, right? That's what the law of karma is. It causes pain. Some kind of punishment. But it's remedial. It's not meant to destroy. You're not going to destroy your child. And you're not going to really burn the hand real bad. But you're going to teach him that this is not right. That's what the law of karma is. There's a message in that karmic reaction. The message is we're doing something wrong, and our Father, Krishna, through his agents and material energy, is giving us some remedial punishment. So we think twice about doing this nonsense. So, our disease is we want to lord it over the material world. Everyone wants to be Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Saddam Hussein, George Bush, Obama, I don't know. They want to be Putin. They want to be number one. They want to be the controller and the enjoyer. They want to be Mahaprabhu, and everyone is Das. Whereas we should all want to be Das and consider everyone else Prabhu, but they reverse that. They want to be a Prabhu and everyone else should be their Das. And they do it in different ways. Everybody has their own technique how to make people their Das. Someone uses brute force. Someone uses very sophisticated psychology by seeming to be a victim. And they all feel sorry and they feel obliged to become the Das of the victim. Everybody has their own technique. They all work. They're all good techniques for the person to be Prabhu and everyone else their Das. So the Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one how to go back home, back to God. Now here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain success in his spiritual activity, devotional service. As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna conscious activities, as stated in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anasaktasya Vishaya Yata Payancha Nirbandha Krishna Sambhante Yukta Vairagya Uchite. No work should be done by any man except in relationship to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but karma has a general meaning in Sanskrit, which means activity. It also can mean reaction to activity. Sanskrit words, just like in English, can have multiple meanings. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for Krishna. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of the business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. One time Prabhupada was speaking to one doctor, Dr. Patel, in Bombay, during a series of morning walks. And he said to Dr. Patel, I said, Prabhu, he said, many poor people visit our temple here in Julu. And we want to give them some free clothing, like dhotis and kurtas. We already give them prashad, but we want to give them some free clothing. So you're a wealthy man, why don't you donate the clothes or the money? He said, oh, you think I'm wealthy, but I'm not. What? You're very wealthy? No. My wife owns everything. I don't mind. He said, then why don't you ask your wife? No, I can't ask her anything. He said, after all, it's your wife. Yes, but she doesn't give me anything. Now, that's a complete lie. He was lying to Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada said, yes, he said, many people will say like that. They say, I am collecting so much money for Krishna, and I'm keeping it in my pocket for safekeeping. In other words, they say they're doing things for Krishna, but they keep the money in their pocket. They don't actually give it to Krishna. He said. So, this is the problem that we all have, is attachment. The nature of the soul is to be active. That means the nature of soul is to have desires. And when it achieves the desires, we become attached. Just like, does a microphone become attached to a particular singer? No, because a microphone doesn't have an individual soul. Does the wall become attached to a particular person? No, because the wall doesn't have a soul. Does a dog become attached to a particular person? Yes, because the dog has a soul. Does the cat become attached? Yes, because the cat has a soul. Do we become attached? Yes, because we have a soul. So therefore, there are two weaknesses of the heart that every human being has. One, they have desires. Now, the desire can be only to serve Krishna, or the desire can be only to serve oneself. So when the desire is only to serve oneself, then one accumulates things from those desires and activity. And as soon as one accumulates something, like a new Lexus or Mercedes, or a new house, or a new watch, or a new anything, then the next thing that happens is they become attached to enjoying it, attached to controlling it. These are weaknesses of the heart that hold people back from becoming Krishna conscious. And this verse here, Anasaktasya Vishana, Yataham Pranujita, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Uchyate. Prabhupada explains, no work should be done by any man except in relation to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for Krishna. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of the business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in possession of thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he has to offer all of this to Krishna, he can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna, and he can install the deity of Krishna and arrange for the deity's service, as is outlined in the authorized books of devotional service. This is all Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to Krishna, and one should accept as prasadam the remnants of the offerings to Krishna. If one constructs a very big building for Krishna and installs the deity of Krishna, one is not prohibited from living there, but it is understood that the proprietor of the building is Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. If, however, one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is also Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden for Krishna. Anyone who has land in India, at least any poor man, has a certain amount of land. Can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. One can sow tulsi plants, because tulsi leaves are very important. And Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toya. Krishna desires that one offer him either a leaf, or a flower, or fruit, or a little water, and by such an offering he is satisfied. This leaf especially refers to the tulsi leaf. So one can sow tulsi and pour water on the plant. Thus even the poorest man can engage in the service of Krishna. These are some of the examples of how one can engage in working for Krishna. Well, this does not exclude anyone. But speculation, personal motive, desire for sense gratification is excluded in this picture. Now, how do we know that what we're doing is pure or impure? Well, Prabhupada explained that very carefully. One must, he says, but a person who acts in Krishna consciousness is free to act because everything is prompted by Krishna from within and confirmed by the spiritual master. So, we see that most times people don't confirm with bona fide spiritualists. Or they shop around and find someone that will validate what they think is right, rather than being validated by the pertinent person to the question. This question of validation by spiritual masters is very important. Sometimes there might be difference of opinion, so therefore people will shop around and find someone who will validate their opinion. But that's not Krishna consciousness either. Just like one time in Vedic history, Narada Muni instructed King Priyavata to give up everything and take sannyas. And Priyavata's father ordered him to remain the king so that he would have a succession. So the question was brought up to a higher authority, Lord Brahma, who was the grandfather and founder of the Sampradaya. And grandfather Brahma said Priyavata should remain in his position as king. Give his father a chance to take some.